PageBlaster, loading paper.
Hello everyone, John for CATT-NW here. Today we're going to be taking a look at loading paper on a PageBlaster. Now, if you've ever used any other Braille printer with tractor feed paper before, this is going to be basically the same story as all of those, but perhaps for those who using tractor feed paper is new, this could be a little bit of a mystery, so we'll help unravel that today. So down below our control panel on our PageBlaster, we have a little bit of a lid, and this opens up to expose our tractor feeders there. So there's a tractor feeder on the left, tractor feeder on the right, and each one of those has a little lid that can kind of open up, and underneath you'll expose a little kind of little belt with some bumps on it on both the tractor feeders here, and that is what is going to pull in the quote-unquote tractors. So here's a piece of tractor feed paper, and you'll notice on either side I have basically some little perforated pieces here that will tear off when you're done. And they have little holes that run on these bumps on these belts. I don't know what the technical name for these is. But anyway, you're going to basically rest this in here, and you're going to line up those little holes with some of the bumps on the belt of the tractor feeder. And then once you do, you can close down the lid there, and it goes ahead and it pinches down, or it holds the paper right there in place on the bumps. Now, your left-hand tractor guide is basically always going to stay stationary, but our right-hand one can be adjusted left and right for different paper sizes. Now, how you do that, like you see, mine is not quite lining up at the moment here. So how you do that is, I'll just close the lid for just a second. There is, in the bottom right-hand corner of the tractor, there's what appears to be kind of like a little lever. If we push that lever up towards the back of the embosser, now this tractor guide will slide right and left. This is the same process for adjusting for smaller paper size. So like I'm loading 11.5 by 11. If perhaps you're using 8.5 by 11, you might need to scoot this in further. But basically what you're going to do is just scooch that right hand tractor in until your holes on your paper line up with the little bumps on the tractor guides, and then you close that lid there. Now you want to make sure that you lock this right hand tractor back down so it does not slide right and left on you by accident. Before I do that, what I do is I line up my bumps with my tractor guide, and then I close that lid so it's clinched in place, and I just take one finger and I put a light amount of pressure on it, and I do mean very light. All I'm trying to do is make sure that there's no sag or bubble from the paper. So I'm just pushing that over towards the right just a tiny bit, not any real pressure, because if you do push hard, you will actually tear the perforations on the tractor guide here, and then we'll tear it off and then ruin your page. And so anyway, you're just really looking for light pressure just to make sure that's nice and flat. So just a tiny bit of pressure, push that little lever back down to lock it in place, and now that's not moving side to side on me at all. All right, there you are. Your paper is loaded. Now one more quick note before I move on here is there's this little plastic kind of arrow piece here. This you just want roughly centered. It does not need to be perfect. All it's doing is also helping prevent paper sag, because if the paper doesn't go into the embosser straight, it could accidentally crinkle up before it even makes it into the embosser head. And there's also a little paper sensor on here that's all it's doing is detecting the edge of the paper. So approximately centered just to help with paper sag, otherwise it doesn't matter too much. And then you just close up that lid and you are ready to emboss. And nothing crazy from here. Really, one piece of advice though is once you have loaded paper for the very first time, you may want to do what is called setting top of form. To do that, you go up here to the feed button on the control panel and you press that twice. It doesn't need to be particularly rapidly, so I'm just going to press feed again.
Feed.
Okay, and then what it does is it sucks the paper in and pulls it in, and it finds what we call top of form. Basically, top of form just means that it knows right where the edge of the paper is, it sensed it, and now it's put the paper in the perfect place to begin printing your first paper job. Now also, just so you know, once you've embossed, so you print something out on here, it's going to spit the paper out and it's going to put the edge where you can tear the next sheet off right past these back rollers here, so you can tear off the page after you've embossed. And then if you just leave it there and go send another print job, it will pull in the paper and set top of form automatically for you. The only time I really set top of form is when I've very first initially loaded a new box of paper, or perhaps I had to change paper sizes or something like that. Then I do the feed to set top of form when I've, again, loaded something new, so that the embosser detects the edge initially. Once it's detected that edge, then it will just do it automatically from there on out. But anyway, that helps. Also with the feed button, I pressed it twice, but you don't press it particularly quick. It's kind of like a feed. If you press it too fast, like a real quick, like double clicking a mouse or something like that, it may not actually register the second press. So just a feed, then a feed. Don't go particularly quick, and it will get it every single time. All right, y'all. I hope that helps, and we'll catch you in the next one.
CATT, Center for Assistive Technology Training Northwest.
The CATT program is funded by a federal appropriation and works in partnership with the American Printing House for the Blind and Alabama Institute for the Deaf and Blind. Logos: APH, AIDB, and WSSB